Now that you've made your teacher account on Zearn, it's time to add your students to the program. The first step is to click Go to Roster. It will take you to a page like this that will say that you have 0 students currently in your class. What you need to do is click Add Students, and then you'll be prompted with this text box. You need to type or paste the student names of your class into this box. For this demonstration, I'm going to add my nephew's names to this box. If I was to enter my whole class, I'd have a list of 20 or 24 students in this box. Right now, I just have 2. Then I'll click Next. And it automatically makes a username and password for my 2 students. What you need to do is erase that username and password and enter a username and password that is easy for your students to remember. What I used this past year was the same username and password as their Renaissance Learn username and password. Then I had one computer card that had that username and password, and they used that for every program. So that was usually their student ID number. And then the password was usually first initial, last name, and some numbers. And that was the same for all of their accounts at school. It might say the username is taken, which it did here. And so when that was the case with Zearn, I would add one of their initials to the username and make sure that the student had that written on their computer card. Then you click Next once all of your students' usernames and passwords are input to the program. And it's time now to choose a starting point for your students. At the beginning of the year, you'll choose the starting point where you're starting off teaching. Remember that these missions or topics are aligned with the Eureka Math curriculum. So I'm going to go ahead and start my students in grade 2 at the first mission at topic A. That's what I'm starting the year teaching, so that's where they start in Zearn. And I click Finish. If you'd like, you can print the usernames and passwords as well. And then you'll be brought to this page that says, "Congratulations, you've added your students to the class." It has directions for the students here on how to log in. You can also print login cards. And this class code is very important. That's how the students will access your classroom Zearn page. So when I have my students log into Zearn, I'll write that class code on the whiteboard, and the students will have to enter that class code the first time they log into Zearn. They won't have to enter the class code any other time, just the very first time they log into Zearn. So students will go to zearn.org, they'll enter that username and password, they'll input the class code, and they'll sign in. Now I have those 2 students on my roster.